Dragi naši drugari, možda ne možemo da se družimo uživo uoči ovog predstojećeg Božića, ali smo zato pripremili pregršt animacija koje možete probati kod svoje kuće sa ukućanima. Ovu virtualnu radionicu započinjemo poslanicom oca Vasilija Vranića, koji će nam ispričati svoju omiljenu božićnu priču.
Dragi prijatelji, i ove godine pripremamo se za proslavljanje Božića, rođenja Isusa Hrista. Ovaj put naše pripreme su nešto drugačije, ali radost ovog velikog praznika zasigurno nije niti može biti umanjena. Ovo je period pružanja zahvalnosti Bogu za sva dobra koja svakodnevno primamo od njega, ali i prilika da sa svojim bližnjima podelimo radost i koliko možemo olakšamo onima kojima je potrebna pomoć i uteha. Stoga želeo bih da sa vama podelim jednu staru, poučnu priču koju sam kao mali čuo i koja je na mene ostavila veliki utisak, a nadam se da će i vama biti interesantna. S obzirom da mnogi od naših drugara još uvek uče srpski jezik, priču ću pokušati da ispričam na engleskom jeziku da bi je svi razumeli. Dear friends, as we are preparing for the celebration of Christmas, the nativity of our Lord, we are remembering the love of our Lord Jesus Christ and everything that he had to undergo for our sake. For us, this is a period of thanksgiving, of the expression of joy and gratitude for every good gift that we receive from God on a daily basis. But it is also an opportunity to share our joy with our neighbor, especially those who are in need of our help and comfort. And the reason why we ought to share love and kindness with our neighbor is described in a story which I heard many years ago as a child, and which I would like to now share with you. Long time ago, far, far away, it was Christmas Eve, and the old Papa Panov, the village shoemaker, stepped outside of his shop to take one last look around. The sounds of happiness, the bright lights, and the faint but delicious smells of Christmas cooking reminded him of past Christmases when his wife had still been alive and his own children little. Now they had gone. His usually cheerful face, with little laughter wrinkles behind the round steel spectacles, now looked sad. Papa Panov took the old family Bible and began to read the Christmas story. As he read, he felt comfort, and a desire arose in his heart to be with Jesus and do something for him as a sign of gratitude for everything that Jesus has done and suffered for our sake. Soon, Papa Panov felt tired, but as he was falling asleep, he felt presence in the room, and he immediately understood that Jesus came to him. "You have been wishing that you could see me, Papa Panov," he said kindly. "Then look for me tomorrow. It will be Christmas Day, and I will visit you. But look carefully, for I shall not tell you who I am." When Papa Panov awoke next morning, on Christmas Day, his heart was filled with happiness as he remembered the events of the last night. He felt that this Christmas would be special, since Jesus was coming to visit him. From the early morning, Papa Panov stood by the window of his shop and looked out in great anticipation. The street was deserted, except for the road sweeper. The sweeper looked as miserable and unkempt as ever, and seemed to be very sad that he had to work in raw cold, in bitter freezing Christmas morning. Papa Panov felt sorry for the man. He opened the door and called to him, come in and have some hot coffee to keep out the cold." The sweeper, with much gratitude, came into the warm room and accepted the comforting warm mug. Papa Panov watched him with satisfaction, but every now and then his eyes straight to the window. It would never do to miss his special visitor. Expecting someone? The sweeper asked at last. So Papa Panov told him about his dream. Well, I hope he comes, the sweeper said. You've given me a bit of Christmas cheer I never expected to have. I'd say you deserve to have your dream come true. And he actually smiled. When he had gone, Papa Panov put on soup for his dinner, then went to the door again, scanning the street. But still, he saw no one. And then he saw a tired and scared girl walking slowly and quietly. She was carrying a baby wrapped in a thin shawl. There was such sadness in her face and in the pinched little face of the baby that Papa Panov's heart went out to them. Won't you come in? He called, stepping outside to meet them. You both need a warm seat by the fire and some rest. The young mother let him shepherd her indoors and to the comfort of the armchair. He gave a big sigh of relief. Papa Panov immediately warmed some milk and carefully fed the baby from a spoon, warming baby's tiny feet by the stove at the same time, while mother warmed herself up and had something to eat. Papa Panov even gave to the tiny baby shoes which he himself made years ago, so that her tiny feet would be covered in the harsh cold. You have been so kind to us, the girl said when she got up with her baby to go. May all your Christmas wishes come true. Papa Panov was beginning to wonder if his very special Christmas wish would come true. Perhaps he had missed Jesus. He looked anxiously up and down the street. There were plenty of people about, but they were all faces that he recognized. There were neighbors going to call on their families. They nodded and smiled and wished him Happy Christmas. He saw beggars, and Papa Panov hurried indoors to fetch them hot soup and a generous hunk of bread, hurrying out again in case he missed the important stranger. And soon the winter dusk fell, but Jesus was still nowhere to be seen. Then Papa Panov finally sat down wearily in his armchair, thinking that his encounter of the evening before had been just a dream after all. Jesus had not come. Then all at once, he felt that he was no longer alone in the room. And this was definitely not a dream, for he was wide awake. Who's there? He called out, bewildered. At first, he seemed to see before his eyes the long stream of people whom he saw and met that day. He saw again the old road sweeper, the young mother and her baby, and the beggars he had fed. Then a voice, the same voice he heard the night before, answered him. Did you see me today, Papa Panov? It was the voice of Jesus. I was cold, and you warmed me. I was hungry, and you fed me, he said. I was naked, and you clothed me. I came to you today in every one of those you helped and welcomed. A great peace and happiness seemed to fill the room, overflowing Papa Panov's heart until he wanted to burst out singing and laughing and dancing with joy. So he did come after all, Papa Panov finally realized. And we, dear friends, as we are preparing to celebrate Christ's birth, the coming of Jesus, let us be kind to our family members, friends, to our neighbors, since all our acts of kindness, charity, and love are not only directed towards other people, but they are also directed to God. Christ himself said that when we do acts of love and charity to others, we actually do them to him. As recorded in the Gospel of St. Matthew, Christ says, "Truly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me." I hope that you will find this story interesting and that you will think about it a bit. Maybe you would like to help Jesus by helping your moms and dads, sisters or brothers, family members and friends, or perhaps be kind even to complete strangers, because when we are kind to others, we are kind to God Himself. May God continue to bless you and your families in the new year. Mir Božji, Hristos se rodi.
U ovogodišnjem božićnom virtualnom paketu pronaći ćete članak o božićnim praznicima, običajima i terminima kao što su polažajnik, badnjak i tako dalje. Učiteljica Ljilja nam je također pripremila članak o božićnim običajima Šumadije, centralnog regiona u Srbiji. Ona je također pripremila kratku igru Pronađi i zaokruži. Dok čitate sa roditeljima o ovim običajima, tu je i link preko kojeg možete slušati božićne pesme u izvođenju naših poznatih pevača. A božićna radionica ne bi bila božićna radionica bez mešanja čuvene česnice učiteljice Rade, koja je specijalno za ovu priliku podelila svoj recept. Uz to smo podelili i video link gde možete pogledati kako se priprema vojvođanska česnica, koja izgleda prilično drugačije od one tradicionalne teteradine na koju smo navikli. Ne zaboravimo da na badnje veče ukrasimo naš badnjak na najoriginalniji način ukrasima od suvog voća po receptu učiteljice Rade. I za sam kraj odmorite uz specijalnu božićnu bojanku i pogledajte sa porodicom božićnu komediju Polažajnik, koja je snimljena po ideji istoimene kratke priče našeg poznatog dramaturga Branislava Nušića. I za sam kraj ostalo nam je da vam poželimo srećan Božić uz povike Hristos se rodi, vaistinu se rodi. Srećno!